We're from England. My personal assistant's from Scotland. We're just here to enjoy America. Get to know the get to know the real Hollywood. Yeah, what's not the Hollywood that you see on the cinema, just the real people. Soak it all in.
How do you like it so far?
I want to live here.
He's pulled out.
What do you mean he's pulled out?
He's not coming.
He's not coming. Does he know how fucking far away England is? It's not like we turn up here every fucking Monday to say hello.
His agent said he had to fly to Chicago because his mother is in hospital.
Oh, the mother. Does he know we've ordered pizza for him?
Nick, it's been 24 hours. He was the only reason why the magazine sent us both here. We have to tell the editor.
I'm not going back until he interviews someone.
We're only here for a few days. How are we going to have time to... What are you doing?
I'm waiting for the pizza delivery guy. He must know someone I can interview.
Oh, you're not serious.
You're from Los Angeles, but how would you see Los Angeles as your position in the world music these days?
There's a lot of good bands that came out of the 80s. There's a lot of good bands that came out of the 90s and stuff, but really in the past 10, 15 years it's just been kind of stagnant with new good music. A lot of it all sounds the same. There is this new trend to be an underground band, but you're really just being a band just like the next pop band that's trying to be underground.
Yeah, like an image shift.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to name names, but
there is
this.
Who are they? Please tell.
Please.
We'll tell people in England who they are.
There's this, kind of similar thread that's going through a lot of the bands that are claiming to be underground indie bands or whatever you had.
Does that irritate you though?
I think so. I just think there's a lot of gimmicks.
Yeah.
People are just doing a lot of gimmicks and stuff, and honestly, I just think people really just don't know what they like anymore because they're being kind of programmed to like, Katy Perry.
How do actors actually really make it? I mean, it's all about saying, well, being a big hit film and stuff, but how do they really make it? I mean, do you have to spend all your money on agents?
The first and foremost thing to know about making it in Hollywood is acting is not becoming a lawyer or a doctor. To become a doctor, you go to school, and then you go to medical school, and then you go to a specialized school based on the type of medicine you want to do. So at the end of 14 years of school, you are now a neurosurgeon. You go to the hospital, you do your residency, you operate on brains. That's the process. There isn't deviation from that. That is the set process for you. This doesn't exist for this. And that's the hard part, is that you take classes, but you don't know if those classes will lead to something. And you go to agent workshops, and you don't know if you're going to get one. And you get an agent, and you don't know if they're good enough to get you in the door. And if they are good enough to get you in the door, you don't know if there's something that you're missing that the agent's looking, or that the casting director's looking for. It's just, there's all these catch-22s. But if you take that side out of it and focus in on what we can do and what we can learn, first and foremost is to know is that all the stories you hear about overnight success, it's all bullshit. Are there people that get jobs because they know people or sleep with people? Absolutely. Is that the largest percentage? No. The largest percentage are people who come here and they work their ass off, and they go to class and they learn and they work with people and they work nonstop and they get in crap production films to gain knowledge and gain footage, and then they start doing better films and they start doing better films. A great example is my friend Brad Carter. Brad and I used to live together when I first moved out here. And he was like me. He was like a pretty boy kind of guy and struggling. And then I moved away to Austin, but he stayed. And he kind of got fed up with his look, so he grew his beard out, he grew his hair out a little bit. He started booking commercials as like this kind of rough around the edges hillbilly guy. And he started booking small roles in TV shows. If you saw House or Dexter or any of those, you saw him get killed off in a lot of those shows because he started getting small roles in those. Started focusing on his look and focusing on that, working his ass off, never staying out of class, never not working, never not keeping up with it. Right now, he's in Canada filming Sons of Anarchy, where he'll be on 5 episodes this season as a recurring character on the absolute highest rated television show on TV right now.
Recording now. Edward, we are currently in Hollywood. We're from England, and we've come across your book. This is your first. Is this your first novel published? Am I right? Sorry.
Yeah, that is my first published novel. I actually have a lot of other things in print, but they're like boring military manuals and stuff. Yeah, military guidebooks. Mainly is what I've been writing for several years, and also boring business guides. So if there is any type of boring subject matter you've ever come across, like a phone book, I've edited phone books before. So this is definitely a lot funner than that.
Well, I suppose as a writer, obviously your book Dark Harvest, Children of Enoch, the first, it's called book 1. I'm assuming there's a book 2 and a book 3. Am I right? I imagine if you've got such a knowledge of like doing manuals and stuff and all the technical manuals, has that had any effect on your writing?
It really does. I've been told that my attention to detail is a lot better than some writers. That's because in a lot of stuff I did, the details, everything had to be correct. If there was anything wrong, everything else would fall apart. So everything had to build on that. So the attention to detail really threw it in there.
Am I allowed to say any of the plots from what I've been told?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, I understand the Children of Enoch book. You've got these children with, do they kind of mutate into some kind of like zombie and infect others? Am I right?
Yes.
Right, so is this going to be, I mean, bear in mind you're talking to someone that hasn't read the book, so like anyone seeing this for the first time. Is this like a traditional zombie story, or are you taking a completely different angle with this?
The angle with this one, depending upon one's religious views, in a lot of religions there's something called the rapture, primarily in the Christian religion, where the spirit's taken up out of the body, and before the time of tribulation. That's what happens here. All the good people are raptured, and the children, with the age of accountability in most cultures being around 13, anybody under the age of 13, their spirits have been raptured. So you have all these healthy, functioning bodies laying around. That's a perfect conduit for evil forces to come in and take over. So you have all the good people taken away, and a lot of bad people left, and demons invading their bodies, turning them into ravenous zombies.
So anyone that survives the rapture is basically transformed into the living dead?
The people who survive the rapture and they're around, they're still humans, but the people who were raptured, the spirits taken up, the bodies remained, that's where the demons come in at. And then there's the ones that are coming up trying to kill everybody.
So this isn't based on personal experience? Sorry, of course, this has obviously not happened yet. I'm assuming you are fairly religious, are you then? Or are you just using this as a subject that you find interesting?
Well, for the longest time I was very religious, and I actually wanted to be a pastor whenever I was a child. And as I got older, some things happened, and as one could say, I got into an argument with God, and you can't argue with God, you're going to lose. So I went and done my own thing for the longest time. Now I am a bit more religious, at least in the ways of, I do believe in a higher power, I do believe that there is a lot of good in the world, and I do believe there is a lot of evil in the world, and you really have to pick which one you want to belong to. So I'm happy to say that I really think I'm one of the good guys.
Well, that's good, because I'm good as well, I think, so I'm glad I'm talking to a good guy. So we've done another actor, we've done a band, Golden State. We did an author of a book. is we've got a load to go on tomorrow. I think I've worked pretty hard. Is there anything else I'm supposed to have done on this trip?
Promote some of the sponsorship merchandise.
The spot we're sponsored?
Yeah, all that stuff on the table that's been sat there for the past week, they're sponsors.
What, next to the Twinkies?
Yeah, under the Twinkies.
The skate, Glasgow's, Edinburgh's biggest skate park. Yeah.
Yes, yes. As visited by Kurt Yeager.
How long has it been here all week?
Yes.
Fucking hell. What is this?
That is a hitch belt.
What's a hitch belt? I mean, sponsor, yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, how'd you get that open? Hitch. This is a belt. Oh, wow. I think it's better as a shoelace with a headband. How am I going to find a way to promote all these sponsors? I've just got no idea.
I don't know. We could maybe make a film just for them.
With, like, say, subliminal advertising.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea.
I would say what brought me out here was the unlimited opportunities that you could have. Like, I always thought that I'd have an amazing life, and I'm sure everyone did. You know, when you come out here, you realize it's either a reality or a delusion. And I was thinking about this the other day, and when it comes to this place, when it comes to acting, the promotion that you can get is unlimited. It goes up to $100 million a year. If you get into any other type of job, then, you know, I feel like you're selling yourself short if you have a dream like me.
But this is more going to be a reality. You seem like you're really convinced this is what I'm going to do now. So
yeah,
you're going to
and I've
just
convinced
say
myself of that. I've convinced myself of that because believe it or not, I have had people very dear to me, people that I really trust their opinions, tell me, "You're hitting this too hard, man. Maybe you should like take care of yourself, and you should, you know, it's a tough life. Maybe consider something else." Because I know that you don't want to hear that talk, because that's like the talk that everyone talks about. But and so I've like taken in those opinions after some really dire times this last year and a half, and I'll like for like 2 days I'll like think about it, and then I just know that like this is what I gotta do, no matter what happens. Like I can't walk away. I can't.
So a lot of the bands and musicians, songwriters and creatives that do live here, have you found anything that, obviously you love it in Los Angeles, but is there something negative you might have noticed that this town does do which shouldn't do? Or?
You know, that's an interesting question. I mean, any city is going to have its pros and cons. In my opinion, you know, you get what you pay for. Everybody always complains about how expensive it is to live here, but you know, there are a lot of amenities that come along with living in a major metropolis such as this. But you do deal with you know, the day in day out issues of traffic or smog or what have you. In the case of, you know, maybe professional people or what people do or what they shouldn't do, it does seem that, you know, there are kind of an inordinate amount of people who, shall I say, you know, fake it till they make it. So you will run into the occasional, you know, Frankie Sharp Records, how you doing, kid? You know, blowing sunshine up your ass, and you know he's got a leased Porsche that he can't, you know, he can barely make his monthly payment on, but he's putting up that front to make himself appear more successful. So there, you know, you do have to kind of have your head about you and be able to navigate through those types of people and be a good judge of character of who's really interested to work with you in a genuine way, and maybe who is just out to make a quick dollar at your expense and what have you. So
there is some levels of exploitation. You've got sharks here, like in say other areas as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's not a mind-blowing revelation. I'm sure everybody's aware of that. But what's interesting is that I don't find that I really encounter those guys on a regular basis. So it seems like most people that I do encounter are genuine and are usually good at what they do. And every once in a while you'll run into one of those sharks, but you just kind of move on.
I imagine from what I've seen that if you were one of those sharks living in this town, you'd probably end up pushing one of those trolleys after a month.
Right.
Which I've noticed a few of them do. Their bin liners and no disrespect to anyone that is homeless.
Or trolleys, yeah.
We've heard stories of people coming here with 10 grand to make it, and next thing you know, they've learned everything. So you've probably got your opportunists, you've probably got your people with vision, but if you're no good at faking the bullshit, I suppose you wouldn't last in this time. Yeah?
Right, and you do have to fake it a little bit here and there, no matter what field you're in. But it's when it's 95% persona in front and 5% actual talent, or then that's when you gotta kind of watch out. And it's it's tough. I mean, moving to any major city in any country is going to take some time to get adjusted and get acquainted and get your bearings and figure out what you want to do and how you're going to do it. And Los Angeles is no different, I don't think.
It's funny, Hollywood can be a very lonely place. I just worked with an actor, an A-list actor, and you would recognize this actor, and just hearing stories of how challenging it could be. Awards on the shelf and lots of movies in the resume, but it's also lonely and depressing at times. And so I kind of, my role as a storyteller and filmmaker is I want to tell good stories, but I also want to care about the people that I work with.
Yeah.
I want my I'm using a hierarchical term, but wherever you are on the totem pole, whether you're a production assistant or you're the executive producer or you're the lead actor or you're an extra, I have this goal that my filmmaking give value to everybody, that everyone feels that they're a part of something bigger. And for me, that's very spiritual.
As far as Los Angeles, you're visiting for networking. And how long have you been coming backwards and forwards from? Is it a few years you've been doing
this? This is going on my 3rd year.
So in the 3 years you've been backwards and forwards, you've seen many creatives succeed or lose their ambition, give up, or maybe get to where they want to. I mean, you must have seen some highs and lows of other people.
For sure. I think the norm is it's hard work all around, and there's no easy success. Even I forget who said something like this, but I heard one actor say like, "Oh yeah, an overnight success took 10 years to get." So there's ways to rise to the top quick, so you think, but that means maybe selling your soul or sleeping around or or compromising the art that you want to do. And I have friends who've been here for a long time, who've worked hard, who have great agents and great movies under their belt, and at the same time they're still hustling, going to auditions, and it's you have a show and then all of a sudden boom, it gets canceled. So I have a friend of mine who got a show. It was in production for a year. They had 1 season. He had a 2nd year where they were filming, and then it got canceled pretty quickly. And now he's like, all right, move out of the studio and on to the next. It hasn't worked in however many months is it? Like we're in August, November, right, September. So yeah, 9 months. For me, I gotta do my own stuff because I can't wait around. Like, you gotta get out there and start making stuff and writing stuff and collaborating with other people, because if you just sort of wait around to happen, everyone wants them to commission a story or make a film, or everyone wants someone else to book them in a movie, but you gotta get out there and do it. You kind of have to, because everyone else is doing it, right? And if there's however many people in the Screen Actors Guild, I think only 5% or under as actors live off of acting.
It's a Mendenhall Experiment, yeah?
Thank you for getting that right, yeah.
And you're Brandon Mendenhall.
I am.
I take it you're the founder.
Yes.
And we're the experiment.
I'm good. Okay, right.
We're the experiment. We're all the experiment. We're all the experiment.
So this experiment, I believe, started a few years ago.
We are a band that primarily is focused on raising disability awareness. It is my experiment as a person with cerebral palsy and a disability to see if I can put a band together, write some songs, and make it in the music business. Because growing up, I learned how to play with my certain set of parameters, given that traditional chords are harder for me. So we down tune so I can do simple bar chords, rhythms, heavy stuff. Knowing that at a very young age, I knew it wasn't going to be easy for me to just find a band that was missing a guitarist and join a unit and be off and running. So for me, it was write some songs, put a band together, and see if we can push forward and be successful. That's what the Mendenhall Experiment is. And I think we've proven that it works, and it is becoming very successful. I always say my favorite singer is in my band, and I mean it wholeheartedly.
That is beautiful. Come on, big hug.
I was just really excited to be the front man. You know, I wanted to impress you guys. You guys showed me, you know, what you wanted. It's not just vocally how amazing he is, but visually. So we're in there, and he's just like getting into it and doing all this shit. And
but he was performing.
It was before as if we were on stage.
Like he was performing like we've been performing together for 2 years. We look no further. He's our guy. We formed this band, and while we're out there playing and doing what we do, and what it means to raise disability awareness and be mindful of people that have disabilities and give them a chance and opportunities that a lot of the times people overlook.
Because you are inspiring people, and let's not hide this fact, because you've got cerebral palsy. Let's face it.
Yeah.
But you're a rock star, and that's the thing, because you can't pretend you aren't now. Number one, I only talk to rock stars. Number two, you've got the deal now, so that means the world's going to be hearing your music, and I imagine a lot of people may have doubted that was possible.
When I was growing up, there was tons of people that doubted me, including my own father at one point. I just gotten my first guitar, and I had to hide it from him. I was working at McDonald's, making french fries and flipping burgers, the only job that I could get in my hometown, because unfortunately in Illinois, 60 miles south of Chicago, things are a lot more conservative in that area of the country. So it was hard for me in a small town atmosphere to even find work, like 5 to 8 hours a week minimum, because they didn't believe in my capabilities, right?
Boy, were they wrong.
And I wanted to play since I was very young, so 4 or 5 years old, and my dad kind of forbid me to play. He said, no son of mine is going to be a musician, until I was 17, 18 years old. That I would basically, at that age, I told my parents, fuck you, I'm going to do it anyway. My mom lent me $1,000 to get the guitar, which I had to hide from my father. And eventually, a couple months later, he found out. And I was in my bedroom playing. And I, only been playing for like 2 months. I had no idea what I was doing. He goes to use the restroom, which was adjacent to my bedroom. And stands in the doorway, smoking a cigarette, and he goes, "You'll never be a guitarist. Don't even try." And as he walks away, he goes, "Turn that shit down." Now that, to me, was very hurtful and damaging to hear my own father say that about his son. For he also lit a fire in my soul and under my ass so bright and so vibrant that I was like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna do this, and it just pushed me. And all the other people in my life surrounding me that said, "You'll never play an instrument." Like fellow local bands, local musicians, they didn't have no faith, they didn't believe in me. They thought that me playing an instrument would be an impossibility. I came to LA to visit a friend, and I never went home.
Let's get up.
Really, man. Yeah, you guys are absolutely
Thank you. That's the point. You guys are the reason that we could get our story more out. This is the Mendenhall Experiment right here. You know what I mean? Like we would not have been able to do it without this.